Thank you. Welcome to the speed round. 7 questions, 5 minutes. And I only say that because if I do interrupt, it's not for any reason other than to move to the next question, and you can come back to any of the answers. Can you explain the various roles of the AAAs, either directly or indirectly, through the spin-offs within the community health choices?
Sure. So the AAAs are obviously a valuable contributor to CHC as we rolled out the Southwest, and expect that to continue as we continue rolling out the program. So first, as part of the education and outreach efforts of Aging Well, they, with other service coordination agencies, have been publicly presenting on the new program and what it means for Pennsylvania's seniors. Second, once again, as part of a subcontracted relationship with Aging Well, they'll be supporting the eligibility process for the program by performing the functional eligibility determination. And third, several of the AAAs have developed separate units to offer service coordination as a subcontracted service to the CHC.
Do you have any concerns about conflicts of interest with some of these AAAs?
So CHC is authorized by the federal government through a waiver that prohibits any conflict of interest between the eligibility and MCO plan selection process and the operations of the MCOs. So CMS has reviewed and approved our approach to eligibility, which has included the use of Aging Well. But we will consistently monitor the CHC MCOs and all of our agencies and contractors to make sure that there's no risk of conflict of interest, and we'll make any changes if a conflict arises.
Okay, great. Moving forward, pharmacies. So independent pharmacies have been having some issues. The managed care networks such as Gateway and Aetna both use CVS Caremark for their benefit manager, and they're determining what gets reimbursed. And what's happening is the independent pharmacies aren't getting enough reimbursed for what has to be charged. And it's a real problem, and it seems as if there's some more conflict here. And this is the road I was going down with this conflict. It's in this area too, because what I'm finding out from my independent pharmacists, and there's a couple of them in my area that are having the exact same problem. What is going is CVS is coming around on the other end, on the corporate end, and saying, you know what, let us just buy you out. What is going on here?
So thank you for that question. I'll answer. We were made aware of this back at the beginning of January, that a couple of our MCOs actually were in contract with the PBM, specifically CVS Caremark, and that CVS had decreased their pricing from October until that point in time when we were notified of the changes. And actually the two MCOs that you identified were also made aware of the changes. Up to that point, they were not aware of the pricing changes. So we worked with those MCOs to go back and actually have CVS Caremark change their pricing back to the pricing that was in effect prior to
So did they get reimbursed for the previous when they were being under reimbursed?
So from October to January 12th, I believe it is, they were not reimbursed. That's something that the plans are still working with CVS to see if we can have those costs reimbursed.
Because these small independents cannot afford to eat those costs. That's my biggest concern. So if the department can do something about that and make sure it's not happening in the future, that's all I'm asking for. So thank you for your answer on that. Moving forward, I want to talk about nursing homes. You had mentioned when a colleague from Montgomery County was questioning about potential, I may not have heard it right, but are nursing homes going to get increases this year?
There's nothing in the proposed budget that would that proposes an increase in nursing home rates.
Okay, so one of the issues is the intergovernmental transfer. They send money, they get the transfer happens. I'm understanding that in order to get the federal dollars. Now, the county nursing homes, for example, some of them are at 85, 90% Medicare, or Medicaid, I'm sorry. I always confuse those. I don't confuse them, I say it wrong. And I'm hearing that there's a negotiation going on what the split's going to be for the federal money. shouldn't they be getting the maximum amount possible, especially since they've been flat all these years? And just, we're going to see more and more of these nursing homes being sold. And I'm just going to get the one last question out, and I apologize. Maximus, I am getting complaints, my colleagues are complaining constantly that we are just going through issue after issue, misplacing paperwork and forms, and basically ignoring our offices. And what's going to be done about that as well? So if you could hit those two questions.
Do you want to respond to those? Do you want to take the first one?
Take the first one on the IGT payments that you referenced in the county nursing homes. Those are specific payments that only county nursing homes are able to receive, and they have not been flat over the last few years. They have received some increased dollars. And the mechanism, we really have to
I'm
look-
sorry, you're right. I believe 6.6% when the costs have gone up 30%. So
Okay,
really,
I just
they're
wanted-
underwater.
Sure. I just wanted to say that we do continue to work with the CCAP and the counties to work on a resolution to make sure that they are funded and maintained, because they are really providers of safety net services and are important to the system.
And with respect to Maximus, let me just say, I've been in this position for about 6 months, and I've heard from a lot of legislators extreme frustration with Maximus in the process, so I get it, and I appreciate the concerns. I do think, the department took them seriously in terms of when we went to and through the process of reprocuring the IEB, which we just did, we were careful, I think, to apply lessons learned to enhance the requirements in that agreement. And I will tell you that we're, as you know, in the process of reprocuring the IEB contract. I expect we'll be able to have an announcement on that here in the very near future. So as we go forward, I think our goal is to continue to see improvements and to learn from our lessons learned. And I guess what I would ask all of you, since you work very closely with your constituents, you know the issues that are coming up, please bring them to our attention, because I think when we were rolling out the Southwest, Maximus was doing work with us with that rollout. And I will say, where issues came up and we heard about them and addressed them quickly, we were able to get them fixed quickly. So that's our goal. I want to know if there's a problem so we can fix it and do it as fast as possible. So
Thank you. And please don't get, my frustration with Maximus is not with you. So, and I get you're new into the role and you're trying to make things happen. So I do appreciate that. And we will keep you informed. And if I could get on the second round for questions, I would appreciate it.
And Madam Secretary,